So hello everyone, how are you all? Welcome to another video on CA Final Auditing Rapid Revision Batch for the May 2022 and the November 2022 students. Now, up to the last topic, we have already conducted the audit of consolidated financial statement. Now, in this particular video and in continuation of this video, or maybe a separate video, we'll be understanding the very two important topics. One is known as peer review and one is known as quality review. So let's have a quick revision of the concept called peer review. Now, the first thing which you have to understand, sir, what do you mean by peer? Peer stands for person of a same standing, and review stands for what audits you have already done, what assurance services you have already given to your clients on your practicing unit. Some people are going to come. Who are those some people? They are the another practicing chartered accountants who are going to come to your practice unit, and they are going to review your audit services and the quality which you have provided. So what do you mean by peer review? A person of the same standing is going to come to your practicing unit. Whatever the audits you have done in your last 3 years, those audit and assurance services, whatever you have provided in the last 3 years, they are going to come and they are going to verify it. They are going to reevaluate it. They are going to check whether you have provided the quality of the services or not, or whether you have provided the services as per the professional, ethical, and technical standards of issued by the ICAI or not. So basically, peer review is that. So peer stands for same standing. Sir, what do you mean by same standing? A person of the similar standing means a practicing CA who is also into a practice. He will come to your practicing unit sent by the ICAI under one board called peer review board. He is a peer reviewer who is going to come to your practicing unit and he is going to evaluate the quality of the services rendered by you. Let it be audit services, assurance services, or review services. All these services will be checked by him. So basically, peer review, most of the people have a misinterpretation that peer review is a fault finding machine. So idea behind the peer review is not to find out your faults. The idea behind the peer review is to make you sure that, or make you understand that whenever you are providing any services to the client, the idea behind the peer review is to make you understand that if you are falling short of some services, if you are falling short of your quality of the work which you are providing to the client, ultimately it will be a disrespect to the ICAI, ultimately it will be a disrespect to the council. That's why the ICAI under one board called peer review board, they keep on conducting the peer review on the auditing firms or on the practicing units so that they can make sure that the quality what you are providing is as per the professional, ethical, and technical standards. Next one. Recently in the peer review, so many amendments have come. Now, when we talk about the amendments in the peer review, amendments in the peer review comes on the basis of statement of peer review, which is always and keeps on getting amended. Now, recently in the July 2021, the peer review statement got amended, and when the peer review statement got amended, so many minor changes have been brought. So changes have come in the level 1 category of practicing unit, level 2 category of the practicing unit, and so many other places also. Now, next important thing is what is the significance and what is the importance of peer review for the auditor. The significance, the advantage of the peer review is it is a stamp of your competency. It is a self-defensing tool. Now you can hang that peer review certificate in your office and you can tell to the outside world that, boss, I am giving the quality services, right? So it displays it demonstrates your performance. So another advantage is your regular work won't get disturbed. And what is the advantage to the society regarding the peer review? Society will have enhancement in their trust and confidence over your services, because peer review certificate demonstrates that you are an efficient and good quality practicing unit. People will not think twice before coming to your firm and giving the assignment. So that is what the benefit of the peer review from the auditor point of view and for the society point of view. Next thing, what are the objectives of the peer review? I already told you the objective of the peer review is to check whether the practicing unit is following the statutory and other requirements or not, whether it is doing the audit and assurance services as per the technical standards or not, and the ultimate objective of the peer review is to enhance the confidence, trust, and the credibility by the what? By the users. So users should have more credibility, confidence, and trust on the audit reports issued by you or the financial statements audited by you. That is the basic reason behind conducting the peer review. Is it clear, everyone? And make sure that, again, I'm telling you, don't misinterpret peer review that ICAI is trying to point out the weaknesses. ICAI is bringing the weaknesses to your notice so that in the future you can provide the ultimate best quality services. So it is not going to be treated as a fault finding machine. It is basically conducted to make sure that कि you are giving the best quality services to the users of your services. Next point, what is the scope of peer review? What does the peer review include? Peer review checks that whether you are following the ICAR laws, rules, regulations, publication guidelines, standards or not. It also applies to your all types of assurance services. Remember, all types of assurance services, auditing, assurance, review services, everything is covered under the peer review. Next one, it also ensures that whether you're maintaining the proper records of all your assurance services or not, client registers are properly maintained or not, stipend register is properly being paid or not, work diaries by the article assistant is being properly prepared or not, your attendance register of the article is being prepared or not. Next one, it also ensures that you are following the professional, ethical and tech standards. So it is very easy to combine it one together in one word. We can call it as a professional, ethical and technical standard, as a PET standards. Next one, the other purpose, the other scope of the peer review is to ensure that you are giving the best quality services, and most importantly, it also covers whether you're giving the adequate training to your staff who is being hired by you either as a audit staff or as an article assistant. Next one, what is not included in the peer review? What is not under the scope of peer review? The peer reviewer cannot check your law consultancy services and auditing standard services. If you are engaged in preparation and compilation of financial statement, that is not covered under the peer review. He cannot check your tax advisory and tax preparation of tax returns services. He cannot check your representations if you have done any in front of the income tax authorities. If you are being testifying as an expert witness, that is also outside the scope. Management consultancy services, due diligences. So these 7 are not under the scope of the peer reviewer. Now, when the peer reviewer comes to your practicing unit, now the biggest question arises is, sir, up to how many years of documentation, up to how many years of audit and assurance services he can look at? He can look at your last preceding 3 financial years, right? Next one, what do you mean by professional ethical standard? The professional, ethical and technical standards, the meaning of that is that they want to assure that you have a good knowledge of framework related laws, you have a good knowledge of auditing related laws, you have a good knowledge of accounting related laws, you have a good knowledge of law related compliances, and you have a good knowledge of standards on internal audit. So it means basically the peer reviewer is testing, is checking that do you have the knowledge of particular laws and regulations or not? Do you have the knowledge of the framework related applicable financial reporting frameworks or not, schedule 3 requirement and accounting standards? Do you have the knowledge of INDAs or not? Do you have the knowledge of standards on auditing, standards on assurance engagement, standards on review engagement, standards on internal audit? And basically this is what the idea behind conducting the peer review or not. And are you getting updated with the guidance, amendments, notifications, revisions, pronouncements given by the ICA from time to time or not? All that put together is known as PET standards, right everyone? Next one, focus of the peer review. Now what is the focus of the peer review? The focus of the peer review is system related and quality related. System related, it is going to check whether you are giving proper training to the staff or not, system and procedures for the assurance services or not. Quality related, are you complying with the PET standards or not? Are you maintaining the register of assurance engagements or not? Are you maintaining the register of attendance of or articles or not? Are you paying them the stipend on time or not? Are they maintaining the work diaries or not? Are you making the record of number of assignments you have done? Are you making a record of fee charged by you? And are you ultimately providing the quality in your auditing services and assurance services or not? Next, most important thing, and the big amendment came here is, sir, what do you mean by peer review board? When we talk about the peer review board, there should be maximum 12 persons, minimum 50% of that. First of all, the question arises, sir, peer review board banata kaun hai? Who constitutes a peer review board? ICA, our council, makes the peer review board. Don't mix it with the quality review board. Quality review board is constituted by the central government. Peer review board is the constituted by the council, maximum 12 members. Among that, 50% should be council members and 50% should be the persons from the eminent personality having a good knowledge in the other fields of economy and who are the person of high integrity and reputation. Next, most important thing, if you want to be a member of the peer review board, you should not be a member of council, you should not be a member of disciplinary committee, you should not be a member of board of discipline, you should not be a member of committee on ethical standards, you should not be a member of QRB, you should not be a member of financial reporting committee. These are your disqualifications. If you are a part of these, any of these committees, you will not be allowed to be the member of peer review board. Next point, casual vacancy. Sir, what is the casual vacancy? Agar peer review board mein, if in the peer review board any casual vacancy comes or any of the member resigns or getting removed, immediately filled up by the council. Next most important thing, who constitutes it? As I already told you, who constitutes its council, and who is going to be the chairperson and vice chairperson. Remember, the vice chairperson and the chairman of the peer review board, again repeating, vice chairperson and the chairperson of the peer review board is to be decided, is to be appointed by the council among the CA members only. Are you getting the point? Next point, what is the tenure going to be? The tenure of the chairperson and the vice chairperson, they are going to be rotated every year. Remember, they are going to be rotated every year. But sir, about the remaining 11 members, among the remaining 10 members, means other than your chairman and vice chairman, the 2/3 of the members will have a rotation, that is 3 years or their term as a council member, whichever is earlier. Again repeating, out of the total remaining members, 2/3 of the members will have a term 3 years or their term, whichever is earlier, as a council member. Now remaining 1/3, council keeps these 1/3 people for a longevity purpose. So their tenure will be decided by the council. But 2/3 of the tenure of the peer review board is having a tenure of 3 years or their term as a council member, whichever is earlier. Next point, sir, how many meetings they are going to conduct? Peer review has to meet at least once in 3 months, means one meeting in 3 months, means 4 meetings in a calendar year. And the quorum is going to be 1/3 of the total strength of the peer review board, or 3 members, whichever is higher, with the presence of vice chairman. If the vice chair is not present, then there should be a presence of chairman. And the quorum of their meeting is this word. Just now I told you 1/3 or 3, whichever is higher. And in case within 30 minutes the members of the peer review board are not available, you all know that the meeting as per the company sector also keep on adjourning. Here also peer review board meeting will be adjourned. Next one, whenever you are going to conduct a meeting, you have to report your that you are conducting a meeting before whom? You have to report it before council. Next one, qualifications of a peer reviewer. Now who can be the peer reviewer? Remember one thing, big amendment came. Peer reviewer has to be a practicing CA. If you are already a practicing CA, 7 years are enough in practice. 7 continuous experience years of practice are enough. So if you are in practice, again saying you should be in practice for 7 continuous years. But sir, I'm a non-practicing CA, but I want to become the peer reviewer. No problem. You can also become the peer reviewer, but you should have served the employment in a particular industry for 10 years plus 3 years in practice. So for you, it is in total 13 years. So if you are right from the beginning of practicing CA, then 7 years are required. You can see that 7 years of experience. But if you have served an industry, then in that case, 10 years of experience plus 3 years of practice experience. So 10 years experience where? In that industry where you were working as an employee, as a chartered, as a CA, plus 3 years of practice. Next point, you have to undergo through a training which is prescribed by the peer review board, and most importantly, you have to file one declaration of confidentiality at the time of empanelment and at the time of whenever the new peer review assignment will be given to you. Next, most importantly, in case the peer reviewer wants, at the time of doing the peer review, if he wants, he can take the help of one qualified assistant. Now the question arises, sir, who is that qualified assistant? That qualified assistant should also be a practicing CA. He should also be a practicing chartered accountant, and he should not be disqualified under section 8 and under section 21 of the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Remember, and he should be a partner or paid assistant with the peer reviewer. He should be the partner or paid assistant with the peer reviewer. And most importantly, his name shall be communicated to the peer review board and practicing unit before the commencement of peer review. Remember, if the peer reviewer thinks that I may require the need of one qualified assistant, that qualified assistant's information you have to inform it to peer review board as well as the practicing unit well in advance before the commencement of the peer review. Next point, he does not have any right to have a direct communication with the practicing unit and direct communication with the peer review board. He can only and only discuss the matters with the peer reviewer. And he also has to sign the declaration of solvency. Declaration of confidentiality. Now, what should be the disqualifications of a peer reviewer? Peer reviewer should not have any kind of imprisonment or should not be convicted on any offense of moral turpitude and imprisonment. Next, most importantly, he should not be found guilty of any kind of action or proceeding in the ICA Council or the Disciplinary Committee or Board of Committee. No pending disciplinary action against him. He should not have the conflict of interest with the practicing unit for which he is going to be a peer reviewer. And most importantly, most importantly, he should not have undergone through an articleship of the partner of the practicing unit. Whatever the practicing unit for which you have been assigned, and if any of the partner of that practicing unit for which you are going to conduct a peer review, you should not have done articleship under that practicing unit. If any of these five situations will arise, you will be immediately disqualified. And remember, when you have been appointed as a peer reviewer for a particular practicing unit, 2 years before the appointment and 2 years after the appointment as a peer reviewer, again repeating, 2 years before being appointed as a peer reviewer and 2 years after being appointed as a peer reviewer, you should not have any kind of professional relationship with that practicing unit. These many amendments are there in the peer reviewer qualification as well as the qualified assistant. There's not that much of amendment, but yes, there are so many amendments in the eligibility of becoming a peer reviewer. So remember one thing, these are the amendments you have to take care of. Next most important point, now sir, peer review is applicable to which kind of practicing unit? So remember one thing, if you are a level 1 category practicing unit or if you are a level 2 category of practicing unit. If you are a level 1 category of practicing unit, once in every 3 years your peer review will be conducted. So suppose if my practice is there and my practicing unit is covered under the level 1 category, then every 3 years a peer review is going to take place on my practicing unit. Now the question arises, sir, what I should have done to come under the level 1 category? I should have done the central statutory audit of any bank or any insurance company. I should have done statutory audit of any central or state public sector undertaking or central cooperative society whose net worth is greater than 5 crores or turnover is greater than 250 crores. Next one, I should have done the statutory audit of any asset management company or a mutual fund company. I should have done the statutory audit of any listed entity, whether it is listed in India or outside India. I should have done an audit of a body corporate including the trust. I should have done an audit of an entity whose net worth is greater than 100 crores or turnover is greater than equals to 250 crores. I should have done the statutory audit of NBFC which has accepted the deposits greater than equals to 100 crores, and I should have done the audit of an entity whose financial statements are prepared as per INDAS, and I should have done an audit of an entity which has raised the funds from public banks or financial institution, which has raised the funds via donations and contributions, or which has been funded by the central government or state government more than 50 crores. If I have done these audits or any of these audits, then my practicing unit will be considered as level 1 category of practicing unit. So again repeating, what makes you level 1 category? Central statutory audit of bank or insurance company, statutory audit of an entity which is central or state PSU or the central cooperative society whose net worth is more than 5 crores or the turnover is more than 250 crores, and statutory audit of a asset management company or mutual fund, statutory audit of a listed entity in India, outside India, statutory audit of a body corporate including trust, statutory audit of those entities whose net worth is greater than 100 crores. Remember above, net worth was greater than 5 crores, here net worth is greater than 100 crores, or the turnover is greater than equals to 250 crores, there it was greater than 250 crores. Next one, NBFC which has accepted the deposit for greater than equals to 100 crores, entitities which are preparing their financial statement as per INDAS, and companies which have raised the funds from the banks, financial institutions or from the public by the way of donations or contributions or funded by central government or state government for more than 50 crores. So in that case, you will be treated as a level 1 category practicing unit, and your Peer review will be conducted once in 3 years. Clear everyone? What makes your level 2 category? If you have done statutory audit, internal audit, concurrent audit, system audit, tax audit, departmental review. Again repeating, statutory audit, internal audit, concurrent audit, systems audit, tax audit, or departmental review of public sector undertakings, banks, or insurance companies. Then in that case, you are a level 2 category. Or if you have done the audit of those NBFCs which are not covered by level 1. Do you remember that in the level 1 what is covered? What was covered in the level 1? What was covered in the level 1? Level 1 में those NBFCs who have raised the deposit more than 100 crores. Here more than equals to 100 crores. Here it means less than 100 crores will be covered over here. And if you have generated the UDIN, unique document identification numbers, more than prescribed by the peer review board, then in that case you will come under the scanner of the peer review board, and any other practicing unit providing assurances not covered or other services not covered under the 1, 2 and 3 above. So if you are a level 2 category, as on the right side you are able to see, then every 4 years once your peer review will take place. So once in 4 years your peer review will take place if you are a level 2 category, and once in 3 years your peer review will take place if you are a level 1 category once in 3 years, and level 2 category once in 4 years. Next, sir, can I get the peer review done on my own? Yes, you voluntarily can also apply to the peer review board ki I want my firm to be peer reviewed. Now you might be thinking, sir, which firm will I already told you peer review board is nothing but gives you an authority. Peer review board is basically is not a fault finding machine. It is basically demonstrating your performance. So remember one thing, yes, you can also request the peer review on your own and make sure that the peer review board will act within 30 days from your request. And not only that, in case your client wants you to get peer reviewed, it means your auditee can also contact with the peer review board, and peer review board will put the peer review on you. It means on your own request peer review can be done, on the request of your auditee, your client also peer review can be done. In both the cases peer review board must act within 30 days. And the fifth area where the peer review can be done on you, if your practicing unit is referred to the peer review board on the request of the secretary, on the request of ICI, disciplinary committee, board of discipline, directorate discipline, or other regulatory authorities. So remember one thing, there are different 5 methods of getting your peer review done. If you're falling under level 1 category, if you're falling under level 2 category, on your own request, on your request of your client, and most importantly, if it is requested by the ICI, secretary, board of discipline, disciplinary committee, or directorate discipline. Are you able to understand? In your case and your client's request case mein, peer review board must act within 30 days. Clear everyone? So this is what the main topic relating to the peer review board, everyone. Clear everyone?